If you've been paying attention recently, you will notice that a cold cultural civil war is raging in this country. No nation can last being led by people who hate it, but that's precisely what's happening here, right now, in this nation. Seems like an odd motivation. Why would you want to lead a country that you hate? The simple answer is always the same: power. The left has become a power cult, and this cult believes power comes from shaming America. This is our 4th of July weekend. So let me say this clearly. American patriots, tell these bitter, sad, childless, miserable lot to go get bent. We have nothing to be ashamed of. We are heirs to the greatest country God has ever given mankind, and we will act like it. Cuba is 90 miles away from here, Commie. We at the Benny Report will personally buy you a raft and a copy of White Fragility to read on the way. You can use it as toilet paper when you get there. You'll need it. Our first raft is reserved for a spoiled brat, third-place loser who threw a temper tantrum better than she threw a hammer at the Olympic trials. This person disgraced the colors under which she wishes to compete. Very odd, that. Too bad critical race theory isn't an Olympic event. This person would get a big participation trophy. We're not going to say this irrelevant athlete's name. All she craves is attention, so let's deprive her of that, shall we? This is the 4th of July. We choose not to care. Go cry more, lib, on your raft to Cuba. Instead, we'll pay attention to what makes America great, like the women who beat you. Meet Deanna Price. Just 28 years old, Price became the first American woman to throw a hammer over 80 meters, a distance which is unheard of in the sport. For context, the men's record has been 86 meters for over 30 years. Price is a patriot and will represent this country proudly alongside with the second-place hammer thrower, Brooke Anderson. Anderson threw a personal best of 76 meters in the competition at just 25 years old. Anderson launched the 14th best hammer throw in American history. Those are the two other people on the pedestal there. Let's celebrate them. These two American women represent a long line of grateful Americans who honor their country, and for good reason. America is simply the greatest country in the world. You can fight me on that. I have the data to prove it. America's great because America is a God-fearing country. 90% of Americans believe in God or a higher spiritual power. We in America know that government is not God. God is God. This belief makes our country a happy melting pot to live in, full of warm-hearted, beautiful people. You see them everywhere, every day. America is by orders of magnitude the most generous nation on earth. The American people donated over $500 billion privately to charity last year alone. We clothe, feed, and heal people who we have never met, thousands of miles off our shores. No other superpower has ever done this. Historically, Alpha Chad nations like America bring conquest and submission to weaker people, not aid and mercy. The power of American invention has bettered the lives of every person on the planet. Automobiles, planes, phones, the internet, miraculous medical breakthroughs which have saved the lives of billions. Pax Americana has summoned forth the sharpest decline in extreme poverty the world has ever seen. The numbers are staggering. At the start of this American century, 90% of the globe was living in extreme poverty. That's defined as living on $1.25 per day or less. Today, that number has plunged below 20%. 721 million fewer people worldwide live in extreme poverty today than in 1981, despite the global population doubling in that time. It's remarkable. Thank you, America. This is why Americans are a happy people, some of the happiest in the world based on recent studies. We live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and we care about the God-given majesty of this country. 85 million acres of land in America are protected national park land. Unlike other sickly wasteland global superpowers, America makes a staggering GDP without ravaging our national beauty. We preserve our country like the majestic American dream itself, a republic that will not perish from this earth. Why? Because many braver and better people perished to preserve it. Millions of young patriots never got to own a house or get married or live their American dream. They never got to have children. They were too busy protecting all of this for us in civil wars and world wars. We remember them. We remember them this weekend. They are why Americans are proud, in spite of the poison and division injected into our country by these commie losers. Over 70% of Americans are proud or extremely proud to be Americans, according to recent studies. Americans are happy, generous, God-fearing people. We have made the world a better place, and we intend to keep it that way. So get your raft, commie. We have no time for you. Crack open a beer and throw some red meat on the grill this weekend. Celebrate the greatest country on earth. Happy 4th of July, America. Let's be thankful to live here. Our next guest is definitely thankful to live here. Her family fled communism in Vietnam and found freedom in America. Amy Phan West is now running for Congress to be part of the great American tapestry. She joins us now. Amy, thank you so much for being on the Benny Report.
Hi, Benny. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
All right, so very few would be able to see the differences between what we have here in America and a communist nation. Can you explain that to our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I escaped Vietnam, a communist regime, and I have witnessed the unspeakable cruelty and violence that the government did to their own people. And we escaped on a fishing boat. You know, we've witnessed half of my family getting slaughtered, buried alive, or murdered, shot. And then we witnessed, you know, women, children getting raped and thrown overboard, people eating dead flesh to survive. And the communist regime, in the last year, what we have witnessed as Americans is that the total control of public education, the total shutdown of churches, the total control of businesses, saying who is essential and who is not. And that is the early stage. This is the first stage of Marxism, socialism, which will be communism. And that's the reason why I'm running for Congress.
Amy, what do you say to a young person who's like, oh, communism, socialism, we should try that?
You know what? This is my saying to them. You don't understand, because the thing is that as American, we have enjoyed the prosperity that our forefather has fought so hard for us to enjoy the prosperity. And you guys never understand the hardship or the tyranny of living under communism. So now you guys been taught in public education that communism is bad, so communism is good and socialism is good, and that this nation is so bad and so evil that it needs to be dismantled. But that is the reason why I'm running for Congress in California 45th District against the socialist Katie Porter. And we need to flip this seat. This is one of the top 15 races in the nation for 2022, and we will flip the House back for the GOP, and we will do it. And I would need your help. So if you hear my voice today, partner up with me, fight against the socialist nonsense, and chip in whatever you can, $5, $10 at amyphanwest.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We need more people with real-world experiences like that in Congress to prevent that hell from happening in this country. Great message on the 4th of July. Thank you so much, Amy, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Benny.
All right.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.